We will next hear from Randall Phillis, President of the Massachusetts Society of Professors. I would also like everyone to know that Reuben King Shaw just joined us by phone. Welcome, Reuben.
The last time I gave a speech that emotional, I still had hair. My name is Randall Phillis. I'm the president of the Massachusetts Society of Professors, the Union of Faculty and Librarians at the Amherst campus. I'm also a faculty member in the Department of Biology, where I do research in genetics and education research, as well as teach a 500-student freshman course. And finally, I'm the very proud parent of a UMass junior who's a double major in journalism and marketing. And so I understand the horns of the dilemma you face. In fact, one of the things that concerns me the most is from my seat, there are 3 horns, and I worry about the kind of beast that has 3 horns. If we are indeed facing a crisis, then I understand it. As president of the Massachusetts Society of Professors, we just settled a contract where we agreed to a pay freeze. Now, I understand the president's office has frozen the salaries of their employees that make over $120,000. Only about 10% of the MSP membership makes over $120,000, but most do not. And 40% make below the $78,000 median family income. But we have accepted a pay freeze for all of our membership. Okay? We understand the gravity of the situation, and that effort represents the effort of our union to try to do the best we can, not for the short run, not for our short-term benefit, but in hopes that this budget crisis will pass and we can come out the other side in good stead. I am here today to ask you for a delay in the vote for a fee increase for the students. First, as Secretary Revel just outlined, there is federal money that is on the way. There is significant federal money that is on the way. It may not be necessary to invoke this fee increase for 2 full years. Okay? We need to understand exactly what is happening with respect to that federal money, and as Secretary Revel just outlined, those facts may well be known in a matter of weeks. Okay? It could be that in 3 or 4 weeks, there will be clarity about the extent of the federal support. It may fill in the entire funding gap that we now see at the university and restore funding back to the FY09 levels. That would obviate the need for a fee increase at this time. Okay? So I think that if we vote now and don't wait a few weeks, then what you are doing is making an uninformed decision. By delaying, then you can make and there's no illusion about 2 things. One is that the federal money may somehow fall short, in which case there may be action necessary. The other is I understand that the federal money is temporary. And so I don't think that we're really, adding to the base. This is a 2-year fix. But I think the 2-year fix is a very important window of opportunity. I think that the university and higher education in this state, as well as the overall revenue and funding structure in this state, is in dire need of a structural change. These structural changes are not quick. They cannot be decided in a matter of a week or a month. An easy solution is simply to raise fees and solve the problem with a whole lot more money that is a burden to the families and students of the UMass community. But a harder solution is to think carefully about how exactly higher education in this state should be run correctly and efficiently and make best use of taxpayer money. With a 2-year buffer, we could win through this federal window of opportunity. We may be able to do the proper and careful analysis of how to really fix the problems of the university that do not necessarily require the fee increase that we're looking at today. Okay? Finally, with respect to those especially affected, as a UMass parent, I pay these fees. I understand what it is to pay these fees, and I know that there are many UMass parents that will be heavily burdened by the kinds of fee increases that you outlined. financial aid package that's available, and there are many families that fall just above or beyond the pay point of that financial aid package, and do not think that that is a trivial issue for those families. Finally, for graduate students, the fees are a burden. There are many graduate students on the UMass campus that pay their own freight. They are not TAs, they are not RAs, they don't get a fee waiver, and they have to pay the fee per se, and many of those are beyond parental support and the like, and it's a significant burden for them. And finally, for those graduate students who are funded on research assistantships, those funds for these extra fee increases come from the research grants that are earned by the researchers at the university. It is a significant burden to pay the ever-growing curriculum fee out of your grant funds for graduate students that you employ and train and educate in your laboratory environment. Okay? What is the high fee levels have done is to shift this burden onto the grants and have encouraged UMass researchers to shift away to the core mission of graduate training and instead move to the hiring of postdocs or technicians. This is a loss of a fundamental aspect of the university's mission, and I think you should be fully aware of the price it is paid. Finally, this fee increase represents the first time in the history of UMass that the revenue that comes from student fees will exceed the revenue that comes from the curriculum fee per se, than the revenue that comes from the state of Massachusetts. We are no longer I strongly encourage you to delay this vote, to find out what the federal money will solve and will not, and only at that time to make an informed and educated decision based on real data and not on speculation. Thank you.
Thank you, Randall.